So this is my very non-professional how-to cursive. So first of all, let's start and look back at some past journal entries. This one's from 2001, 2010, 2016, my first fountain pen, it was the Muji. So, I get asked a lot, how did I learn cursive? And it's not a very exhilarating story. It's pretty straightforward. I just simply learned it in elementary school, and it kind of stuck with me, I guess. I just really enjoyed it, but I also have always enjoyed just simply the action of writing, so I think it was kind of a natural progression. I haven't really studied cursive in my adult life, but I have been doing it for a really long time. And so I think that is just a big part of how I write today. The repetition over years. And when I look back at journals that were actually not that long ago, my cursive has already changed quite a bit. I think there is a little bit of like a deliberate attempt to write nicely that helps. But anyways, let's just dig into my tips, what I think helps me personally. So something I do a lot are these little like swirly motions. Sometimes they're up and down. It's become a habit. I don't know when I developed this habit, but it just kind of happened naturally. It reminds me of how people say in between words when they don't know what to say or when they're looking for the next word. So instead of saying I make these little like swirly motions with my hand. And I think it's actually a really nice way to warm up the hand and get that swirly fluid motion already in your hand before you put the word to the page. Sometimes it gets a little ridiculous. So another thing that I think is really important is accept mistakes. They are inevitable. They are going to happen. You will mess up. You will make a mistake. You will write out the wrong word. You will make a scribbly mark. You will make an ugly letter that you don't like. They're going to happen. Just accept that they're going to happen and just keep writing. Cross them out when they do. Because I think the anticipation itself of that failure, quote failure, really makes our whole bodies and our brains tense up, just, waiting for that mistake and so afraid to make that mistake, but they're going to happen. End of story. There's nothing you can do about it, so just keep writing and make it nice and fluid. I do think grip has something to do with all of it, but I do also recognize that everyone has their own unique way to hold a pen, and I have seen some very strange and unusual ways to hold pens, and they have beautiful handwriting regardless. So, but anyways, this is what I do. Pointer finger, I think, moves the pen down, middle finger bumps it up, and then thumb maintains keeps the pen in hand, and then the ring and the pinky fingers are like little supports. There's definitely like a spring to it. Boing, 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 boing. Like bouncing a ball, dribbling a ball with your hands. And then again, kind of like the swirly motions or when I don't know what to say but I feel inclined to write, I'll often just write out the alphabet. And sometimes I break it up into like 3 at a time, like ABC connected, and then the next 3 connected. Sometimes I just make them all connected. And then, of course, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain because that's in my head all the time for some reason. There's so many times in which I want to write, but I don't know how to write or what to write. So yeah, those are my go-tos. And then, fountain pens. Huge, huge, huge game changer. I cannot express that enough. This is not an exaggeration. This is a fact. Fountain pens have made such a huge difference because, one, I want to write all the time. I feel so inclined to write, and that helps in itself. And then, of course, just the whole way a fountain pen functions is just really helpful. Anyways, these are fun little exercises. I don't know where I saw them, but they help with spacing and continuity and consistency. So making sure that all your letters are equally spaced, all of your letters are moving in the same direction, and there's like a nice flow. They're all angled in the same way. And these are also really pretty to look at, these like little penmanship diagrams. I rotated the paper, by the way. Also, experimenting with different shapes is helpful. Like I said, in middle school, looking at different people's penmanship and picking and choosing key elements or things that they did that I liked, doing them, repeating them over and over until it became a habit, and then that just suddenly turned into my own style of penmanship. And last but not least, of course, just keep writing. Write and write and write and write. Even if you don't know what to say, write your ABCs. Wink, wink, I'm running out of ink. So I'll see you guys later.